Welcome everyone to the regular meeting of Smith Green Community Schools of Monday, March 16th, 2026 at 6:30.
Would please rise and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Mission of Smith Green Community Schools. By focusing on excellence in education and providing opportunities for all students to succeed, we strive to be the best small school in Indiana. Please join me for a moment of meditation. Thank you.
Yes. Ms. Hirsch.
Yes. You want to take one and pass it down? I wasn't sure if the digital portion worked, so I printed copies. Addison Reed is one of our student spotlights. She couldn't be here tonight. Jillian Wright is the other. They're both seniors, and I'll read here about them, but you can see their artwork here on the slides. Each year, our art students participate in the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards. Since 1923, the Scholastic Awards have recognized the vision and talent of our nation's youth. They are the largest, longest running, and most prestigious program of their kind. This year, 2,270 artworks were entered. Only 649 received honorable mention, silver keys, or gold keys in recognition of outstanding creative achievement. This year, our students had a goal to earn 20 awards. They actually won 22 awards, and we even earned one writing award. Awards are broken down into categories: honorable mention, silver key, and the top award students can earn is the gold key. While all our art and writing students deserve recognition, Jillian and Addison led the way with a total of 11 awards between the two of them. Addison earned 5, 2 honorable mentions, and 3 silver keys. And Jillian here earned 1 honorable mention, 2 silver keys, and an impressive 3 gold keys. To add to the excitement, Jillian's gold key artworks will advance to nationals in New York City. If you have not seen any of their work, I've printed it there for you. The pictures do not do them justice. You can save the date though for Sunday, May 3rd. That's our annual art show here in the library, and Jillian and Addison and all of our other art students will have their artwork showcased. They are truly creative and talented. I'm super proud of them. And I'm just going to brag on her, even though she's going to be so mad at me. Jillian and Addison are both in our top 10 as well. They were notified that they're in the top 10. These two young ladies, probably just about as much as any other students that I currently have in the building, have applied for probably every scholarship in Northeast Indiana. They have been finalists for the Lilly Endowment. Jillian was just a finalist for the Chapman Scholar, which, if you're not familiar, is a full ride to PFW. So while they haven't had anything big hit just yet, they've gotten down to the wire for all of them. Addison and Jillian were 2 of the 3 for Whitley County. So really impressive feats, if that tells you just how really strong these young ladies are. So just super proud. You have to come up. Now you have to get the picture. I'll take it. Or you want to know? Yeah, they know.
Just make sure you send it to me.
I will.
Thank you.
I know. And now I got younger. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you, dear. You're free to go. Oh, I think that's the
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
They're good girls.
That is awesome.
Amazing stuff.
It really is.
Some of her artwork is, huge though, so it's really hard to capture the details. And if you come into this school, you really should peek through the art room right now. All of the seniors are painting their ceiling tiles. They're some of the best I've seen. They're so cool.
Next, we have staff spotlight. And I'm pleased to announce that Kelly Holzenbeck was nominated been selected as our staff spotlight of the month. This is what was said about her. She is very thoughtful and nice, and she goes above and beyond. She is always friendly and greets the kids in the morning with a smile. A few days ago, she called me after the bus route to tell me there was a large screw at the end of our driveway, and so be careful. So, again, outstanding employee. So, very thankful. And other celebrations. Don't want to steal any thunder, so Mr. Gaff, anything you want to share?
We just are finishing up our IREAD assessment. We passed 23 of our 25 third graders that had to retest, which puts us at 98% for the year so far. And these kids will continue to test, but that's a great success. We also passed all of our fifth graders that needed to retest, which means that 100% of our fifth graders that don't have special ed exemptions will pass. So that's commendable as well. We just finished our mother-son bingo last weekend, had 147 kids and their moms come and do the bingo. Our PTO has been a great asset to us, and that's one of the activities that they do just to get the families engaged. The last thing is Battle of the Books. We hosted our first Battle of the Books with our students. Battle of the Books, kids could volunteer. They had to read 12 books. And then there's trivia questions about the books, and the teams compete against each other based on the books. We had 15 participants in second and fifth grade, and 10 participants in our fourth and fifth grade team. So it was just our inaugural year. I would anticipate moving forward that it will get bigger, but it was a great event last Thursday as well.
Thank you. Ms. Hirsch, anything to share?
Yeah, I will save a lot for some of the updates in my principal report, but I know that we have a separate spot for donations, but one of my biggest celebrations is the wrapping up of our athletic fundraising campaign. And actually, more has come in even since my report was sent. So we're just right at about $130,000. And several projects are getting completed. So I will bring a project list next month so you can kind of see what's done, because a lot of them are in the works, so I can kind of give an update to that. But a lot of big donations from families and local companies, and a lot of people have reached out for some ongoing ways to support the athletics program. In addition to that, tomorrow, Missy Boffman and I will be going to a meeting around lunch, because someone got wind that my next move was going to be to work on the arts, and we have some potential donors to cover the $80,000 auditorium project. So hopefully the following month I will happily share that I'm going to get that covered as well. So pretty cool things happening in that regard. So
Yeah, thank you very much. I would like to draw your attention to the new artwork hanging up from our local artists at the elementary. I think they do a fabulous job. So it's always kind of fun to see the different pieces. We'd also like to thank and congratulate Coach Garman and the staff and his players for their season. I see great things out of that program, and I'm excited about the future to come. So. And then we'd also like to thank the New Era and New Gen for their putting on a great show at the Showfire Invitational. Also, a lot of people put in a lot of long hours and a lot of hard work to make that happen. So thanks to all those people who are involved in that. The only other thing I'd like to draw your attention to some of our donations that we've received. That's worth celebrating. We received a $20 donation from the Joe Hutzman Memorial Scholarship to the football team. We also received $125 to the FFA team at Churubusco, again from the Joe Hutzman Memorial. And then, of course, Ms. Hirsch kind of alluded to it, but the athletic fundraiser donors What did you say, over 130 now?
Just right at $130,000, yeah,
So very impressive.
including baseball, ticket booth, and yeah, it's a lot of big projects.
I'd like to thank all those generous donors. Yes, next we have a special presentation. We're highlighting our four pillars from our new strategic plan. Mr. Gaff and Ms. Spurs will present the communication and marketing plan today.
So as you may have noticed, we've tried to take a much more significant social media presence this year, especially moving into a potential referendum this fall, letting people know about the great things that we've got going on within our building, because a lot of opportunity, there's always a lot of opportunity for the people to be in the building, so we like to share out those great things. So hopefully you've noticed an increase in our social media presence. Part of it was aligned with Ms. Hirsch and her ability on social media, and then my secretary that we hired this year is also very good at social media. So it's worked well that the two of them can kind of tag team a lot of the initiatives that we've got to communicate out what's going on in the building. So.
Yeah, so what I put together for you just really quickly is that what our 3 current communication goals are. And I'll just kind of go through those, and then I think Mr. Gaff's going to add some information for you. But you'll see the first goal is to develop a clear and coordinated district communication plan that supports transparency, consistency, and stakeholder engagement. So one of the things that we've really focused on, we're still revising and tweaking our plan. We look at it, and we kind of step away from it, look at it again, to kind of try and figure out what we want to have, and that will all be wrapped up here in the next few months. But one of the things that is most easily seen is that if I could go through each quarter, you can see that the traffic on Parent Square alone has increased quite a bit. So while we're seeing more posts, about 100 more posts, that means our teachers are also using it, but you'll see that the actual engagement and interaction from families has also increased just as much. You'll see that the snapshot here, and this is just a screen so that you can see 99.8% of our families receive information through Parent Square. That's incredible. And that's pretty darn near perfect. And sometimes it's just that it gets kicked out, a bad email, a typo, those are things like that. Systems are down. We actually get notified of that too. So when I was running messages and alerts and reminders for our PSAT day in the fall, I was able to run a report to see who didn't get it. So it got kicked out, so I was able to go right in and make sure that they got it directly. So super helpful in that regard. In that same breath, on the top of page 2, you'll see what this kind of looks like. So increased engagement, this includes the rate at which they're opening the messages, that two-way communication, which I think has probably been the most beneficial to us. So right away, if we're posting something for SAT, for example, just using that as the running example, if I want to post it, I can add Mrs. Sexton, the secretary at the elementary, I can add the counselors, and so anybody who is added as a manager can also interact and answer those questions quickly. So it's just really user-friendly. You'll see that the overall rate is just up. This streamlines messages, so while we don't necessarily need to have the consistency in the lines, what it's doing is we're interacting at a more consistent rate. So it's not a, okay, spike, we're in a busy month and everybody gets 100 messages in 1 week. It's been more consistent because we've been able to kind of schedule those out, set the reminders, things like that. So it allows us for some RSVPs and things like that as well. Goal number 2 is that unified marketing plan, and this is where we're relying on social media. So this bottom box is not Parent Square. This is just our Cherubusco. This is just from the junior, senior high side. The elementary side is even more. The junior, senior high kind of had a little bit more of a presence because they interacted with athletics and theater and different pages like that. But their rate is up even higher. But you will see that in the last just few months here, we are up 61% from where we were this time last year. And that's not just likes. So it's interacting, it's sharing. When we post, what our kids are doing, families are sharing those, so then they're getting that action, so then they're coming back to visit to see what other updates are going on, and we're trying to consistently post. So you'll see That's quite a bit of a difference. That last goal then is just establishing more connections through active education, collaboration, and external partnerships. And this is where we really want to rely on the digital communication. It's a lot about storytelling. Our families and our potential families really want to see what our kids are doing. So when we have the community foundation posting on social media that our kids are finalists, that activity went through the roof, right? When our kids are out doing things in the community, those are the things that are getting us all of that traffic when we're doing things like that. So we're trying to work closely with anybody who's sponsored, not just for athletics, but I know that the Suicide Awareness has their event coming soon, so I've been trying to share that. So then not only are they going to their page, they're going to ours. It's all about networking, of course, but that gets us all that traffic, and then it shows that our kids are supporting other groups and things like that too. So we're going to continue monitoring. We talk about it pretty regularly. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, the other thing that we've done is made ourselves available to the community organizations. Both have presented the Rotary, had conversations at churches, several of those things, because I think if we rely only on our social media or only on digital communication, there is a population that we leave out. So I think it's important that we also get staff out amongst the community to have those conversations as well. And they've been very appreciative for us to come and meet with them and answer any questions that maybe they have over different things that are going on in the school as well. So.
Yeah, we've talked about some mailers too. We haven't done that yet, but we've talked about bringing some of those back. Maybe like a kickoff for school. So.
Yep.
Any questions for us?
I have one. On the, whether it falls under the Unified Marketing Plan or District Communication Plan, I see a lot of our extracurriculars having social media pages as well. What are we doing to coordinate and make sure that things that we're putting out there from that aspect align with everything else that we're doing?
So one thing that's in the plan that you'll see when we roll it out is unified wording in the names of our different pages. And I don't remember what we agreed upon as our but Busco, tennis, Busco. So when someone wants to search something specific, they know which hashtag to go to, essentially. So that's one of the biggest things. Having coaches on parent sport has helped us significantly, because it used to be that every sport had their own different way to communicate. Parents now have become reliant, whether it's Turner's in the elementary or archery club or one of the athletic teams. Everybody has access to parent sport, and the information is coming out in the same form, which I think has helped us with our communication with our stakeholders as well. So.
On our side, for some of those larger teams too, it is an expectation of the coach to have certain. They have to, so you'll see more of our teams are starting to, we started with the high school, you'll see them in junior high now too. They should be getting weekly updates with schedules and schedule changes and things like that. And they're including Kilgore and I, just in case one of us are out, in the event that we have to notify for cancellations and things like that. And then we're doing the same on social media so that we monitor, so that one of us is always aware of what's being posted as well. And that's kind of in our communication plan too. So we will be working to clean some up. What happened was, I think before I came into the picture too, here in the building, there were old accounts because people were kind of just being willy-nilly about creating. So some of the names are old and we can't use. So there will be as much, consistency across the board, but some of those actually aren't available as usernames. So we're just working to kind of gradually clean some up. I've reported some old ones to clean them out. So that way, if someone just went to Google, we start bumping up the list a little bit more. So some of that's going to take a little bit of time, but we're working on it, trying to get some teachers to work on some of that. Those weekly, I know we have a lot of weekly newsletters, the junior high and the elementary, and just kind of make sure communications across the board. But
Yeah. Even at the end of the year, we had to, especially on Facebook, go through, there were multiple elementary pages, and go through and, you send them a certified letter, you go through all these steps, and then finally they'll clear it out, but it's not necessarily an easy process to get a page.
we're trying to work on on, getting everybody's logos updated. So I know baseball just has theirs, it's nice and clean, we kind of cleaned up the page so that the page is different than the athletics, so you know where we're going. Yeah, just baby steps in that regard, but.
The other thing that I think that it would be really nice to see is results. You know, so it's like, it's very difficult if you're not necessarily, 100% engaged with that activity, to find out just results of whether it's a wrestling meet, a baseball game, football game. A lot of times you're needing to go to other resources to find those type of things. If we could integrate that into our page, I think that would be.
We just talked about it, Kilgore and I, because there's been a shift away from Twitter. It used to be Twitter was where all the results were posted, because it's linked to a lot, like event link. And so now to get those results, someone has to type them up and send them, and then share them. So, but it's something that Busco Athletics could do if we make an expectation that coaches report. Not every coach posts regularly enough yet, but we have a lot of new coaches, so that's where I'm just the baby steps to get that consistency for sure. That's why I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like I would say October-ish, we started weekly.
Yes.
Every Sunday morning, I schedule here are the weeks out. So SAVE creates that and then updates changes, and that's scheduled weeks in advance. So that goes out. So stuff like that, we're going to try and just keep adding to it. So results is definitely a good one for sure, especially those big.
You used to be able to go to the newspaper, but now,
Correct.
Most of the information's not updated in the newspaper. So, and if you're outside of Fort Wayne, it's not generally in the news either. So,
on the radar for sure. Keep them coming on as you guys notice stuff like that. We've got a list.
Yeah, and I get those questions.
Yeah.
A lot of times people will reach out, hey, how did something new?
Well,
I'm like that. I don't know.
Well, and I will tell you, just so you know, I mean, this doesn't help everybody else in the world, but they are always on the morning announcements, always the next day. And so when we were talking, it was kind of like, if you're doing it for the morning announcements, just put it out there. So it's just harder because we type it up as paragraphs and talk about it and then acknowledge the kids, so you'd have to condense something to kind of put it out there, even if it's a score update, which we did try to do on Instagram, throughout the quarters through events, but that doesn't reach everybody, so.
I wonder, in the world of AI, is there a way to tie that together and go, hey, make a 20-word summary of and highlight our announcements and have that thing just automatically feed and, drive some of that.
Yeah. Definitely look into it.
I know nothing about social media. I mean, seriously, nothing, but.
It's great. It will do a lot. It's just it's the time it takes to do it too. To be quite frank, the logistics of it. When I'm standing at the end of the track during a football game on Friday night, I have the time to say end of quarter one, here, and here. Hayden does not, right? If I'm sitting and watching a basketball game, fine, but we can't be everywhere to know who did what, and that's the tricky part. And that's where when it used to be linked, it was so much easier. So now we're reliant on the coaches, and if you're away, then we're relying on the away coaches and ADs.
And I remember when I was coaching the high school golf team, we had another software application that we had to actually log like a paragraph of what happened that night, and it got automatically sent to the newspaper.
Yeah, we don't. I wish we had that, but we'll make it an expectation of their responsibilities. Just how we get it out there will be the next step of that conversation. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys very much. I hope the board can see not only just through our strategic plan, but there are a lot of people who are working very, very hard to clean up a lot of different aspects of our corporation. They're always constantly working very hard in the classroom to make sure our kids get educated, but there are so many things that go on beyond that that people are investing some time in and trying to be more efficient, more family-friendly corporation. And it's just neat to be a part of that and see everybody chipping in and everybody working, whether it's the communication department, like these two guys, and we're leading that, or facilities, or curriculum, you name it, or just every process we do in general, just trying to be more efficient with it. So, and that's constant, ongoing, always trying to ratchet it up. So a lot of people working hard. It's great. So again, thank you guys. Next, we have the consent agenda, sir. And I'd just like to draw your attention down to proposed fundraisers. The sign-up bid for the archery club, flower sales for the FFA, and a ticket, entry ticket to the junior high, for the junior high student concert. Bring those to your attention.
Any questions or concerns on the consent agenda? If not, we just need a motion.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
All those in favor?
Next is a personnel report, and I'd like to draw your attention that Ms. Foote, the girls tennis coach, has submitted a notice of resignation. Also, I'd like to point out that Mr. Gaff will be a change of placement from Chair Buster Elementary School principal to the business manager. Ms. Cook resigned as the girls basketball coach. And then Ms. Robin McGuire submitted her letter of retirement. She's a custodian at high school.
Do you know how long she's been here?
I do not know.
I think I heard 34 years.
That's awesome.
So, very thankful for her years of service and what she did for this community and for our kids. Make sure that they have a great place to learn on a daily basis. So, much appreciated to her and her efforts.
Any questions or concerns on the personnel report?
I'll motion to approve the personnel report.
All those in favor? Legislative reports.
Well, they finished their session for the year. After approving, the governor has signed 28 bills that had anything to do with children of some sort of fashion. All of them have been signed in by the governor between February 24th and he just signed one. As of March 12th, he signed some. Biggest ones, amending Indiana High School equivalency diploma program eligibility. It is now extending from June 30th of 26 through June 30th of 28. Department of Education matters, creating teaching and learning framework for the implementation of mathematics standards. We kind of talked about this at our last board meeting, that it's been recent years and now we're making that transition to math. So they have passed that and the governor just signed it on the 12th of March. School board candidates specifying that if there's more than one candidate for a school board office within a certain designated group of candidates, they shall appear in the order within the grouping in alphabetical order and coming according to surname. This is very important. But that has now been signed in, so how you're listed on the ballot makes all the difference how you're going to get voted for, apparently. And then the wireless communication device policy, which we have spoke about multiple times, did get signed in, and the governor has approved it. And this just basically states that students aren't going to be able to have their phones in classrooms. So whether we get lockers or whatever, but I think Busco has already kind of had that policy in place. It's just making sure we're implementing it across the board. So those were kind of the highlights of the 28 bills that were signed into law.
Thank you.
I shouldn't have any more reports either, unless they call special session.
New business.
Yes, next we've asked for your approval of the Schenkel construction bid for the second grade restroom project.
Questions or concerns on the restroom bid project?
Have these restrooms been renovated in years?
The same restrooms you went.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. They have not changed. And when we did our walkthrough 3 years ago, they were definitely an area that were of concern.
They're actually in worse shape than they were 3 years ago because the partitions and stuff that are in there are unrepairable, so the continued wear and tear, splitting where they're rusting, hinges breaking, stuff in the floor collapsing, the urinals now won't drain. I mean, it's progressively getting worse, so.
I had, these things don't get better now. They don't fix themselves.
One of my concerns, Paul, is that we only received one bid. And I believe, I mean, we always try to have 3 bids. And I think that, you know, the number came back, and surprised some of us. And I really think that, and I know that you pushed to try to get some additional ones here. I really think that we're gonna need to, or I would like to see that we push, for some additional bids here to make sure that we really are in the ballpark. I don't know if there's other.
I completely agree. Price is ridiculous. And I'd like to see us venture out and try to get that down, especially this time of the year, for this year.
When you put a bid out, just anybody can jump on it, or do we send it to certain places? How does that process work?
Yes to both those questions. There is like almost a national bid service that goes on a website throughout the state. And then it also, each company who's done projects before gets an individual bid invitation to let them know Smith Green is doing a project, you know, if you're interested. So it goes out to everybody. And then we have a pre-bid meeting where contractors will come here, actually walk the site, look at it, take pictures, you know, measure things out, so they have, and they get a copy of what the architect put together as plans and things like that. So we had several contractors do that as well.
They came to the pre-bid.
How many did we have?
At that time, there was 3 that came to the pre-bid meeting. And then, once they leave, you know, they can call and contact us if they need clarification, or if they want to come back out, take more pictures or more measurements or whatever the case may be. So we are anticipating at that time at getting at least 3 bids. However, when it came time to open the bids, we only received 1 from 1 contractor. But we had multiple people look at the project. Even at the time, when I saw those numbers, I reached out to a local contractor, keeping our fingers crossed, who's done business for us before and came back very, I think, competitive and done a phenomenal job. They looked at the project and they think, thanks, but no thanks, we're really not interested in that particular work, because there's a lot of work for them in a small company. But either way, I mean, we did do our due diligence. We did meet all the legal requirements. You know, we can't make people bid on a project that they may not be interested in. So.
Right. Are we able to have, why does Barton Co. believe that we didn't get any additional bids? Do they have any feedback or feelings of that?
I kind of asked Mr. Wiesner at the time why there was only 1 bid, and he, at the time, he was a little surprised as well when they did our bid openings. You know, he said he really didn't know for sure. It could be because there is some work out there and people are busy. It could be just because of the scope of the work, that some, for the bigger companies, it's not really worth their time. The dollar figure isn't, because we're really kind of in a small, narrow niche. You know, for some of the smaller companies, it's too big of a project. For the bigger companies, it's too small of a project. So it's really kind of a narrow niche to get some interest in that particular area. And that's from what I was told.
Okay.
And I think one of the reasons why we got 1 from Schenkel is they bid on our last project. They did a great job. And I think they're just kind of helping us along. So, and they will say on good graces.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Do you
consult with any other districts around us about who they use to see if there's anybody downtown?
Yeah,
May not know.
but most of those,
Probably the
they're
same.
doing multi-million dollar
Yeah.
projects. But it's,
Not small ones.
yeah,
Okay.
it's not a couple $100,000, it's usually.
Right. Couple million.
And my worry would be if we wait and push this back, prices are only gonna continue to rise, unfortunately. That's kind of what we're seeing everywhere now. But if we wait longer, I mean, we had this bidded out 3 years ago.
The first bid that went out that I could find was in 2016.
Okay, so it's been 10 years ago.
Yeah,
And that price has gone up
2016,
significantly.
then 2017, and then 2021. Those were all bidded out.
And the price hasn't gone down.
Unfortunately,
Each
yes.
time. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I don't want to wait. I mean, I'd love to see more bids too. I would. But I also don't want to put it off for another year because the prices are insane.
And do we offend the bid we have by asking for more bids, you know? It's not that we don't want to do business with them.
But we will do whatever this board asks us to do.
Yeah, certainly I would like to see some additional bids, but, it'll be up to the rest of the board. I would like to proceed here.
I'd like to see more bids.
I'd like to take another run at the few more bids if possible.
I just think that price is just
Yeah.
for what the work is. And maybe, like they said, they were busy. Everybody's busy, even with the town. It's hard to get anybody to do anything. And they're just throwing ballpark. Hey, right, great. But maybe that's the case.
What would the timeline be to put that bid again?
Well, it will be, it won't probably happen this summer if we put it on. Because there's certain time commitments that have to be met, clocks, started. And then if we're trying to get it in a summer, basically June, early July window, unfortunately, we probably won't make that window. So, then you're either gonna have construction going on when you got classes right next door, and then this particular work, there's gonna be block work and cutting through that, and cutting through foundation, and digging up pipe and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be ideal for education. So you're probably looking at, in all honesty, probably next summer, because even Christmas break, they're probably going to complete all that work in 2 Or if we ask them to do it second shift, then get a higher price, a higher quote.
Yeah, waiting another year could bring prices up too.
We've been looking at this review since 2016.
Yeah.
We just need a motion.
I motion to approve the construction, the shingle construction bid for the second grade restroom project.
I'll say.
All those in favor? All those opposed?
So what are my marching orders?
So we'd like to pursue getting some additional bids for this project. To ensure that we are in the appropriate financial range for it.
What type of time frame are we gonna shoot for? I mean, still gonna try and this summer if all possible, or is this something that we're gonna look at next fall or next spring, I should say?
I would say as soon as possible. If we could do some due diligence right away and try to pursue some other contractor bids and potentially get it on the schedule. That would be my preference.
Okay. We'll see what we can do.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next thing, we would ask for your approval to add login access to Star Bank website for Mrs. Carrie Shaker. To grant, just to let you give you a background, to grant access for corporation accounts to Star Bank website from Mrs. Shively, Star Bank is requiring board approval to grant this access.
Why does she not have access currently? Why is this a change?
We don't know.
She should have had it all this time, but she does not.
And this is just to let you know, this is again one of those things we're just trying to be more efficient, because she would have work and then all of a sudden have to go back to her desk. She'd have to log it in, and it'd be much easier, much more efficient if she could just go in there and change it.
I'll motion to approve to add login access for Mrs. Shively.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Next, we're asking for approval of the revised 2026 annual appointments. This is the appointments that we did back in January, but because of some staff changes, we're asking for some rearrangement because Ms. Lofton is going to be leaving us, unfortunately, mid-year or at the end of this June. Therefore, we'd like to add Mr. Gaff, since he's being appointed as a business manager as of today. We'd like to add Mr. Gaff as the treasurer. Also include him in authorizing of signing of checks for the corporation. Also authorized to sign extracurricular checks, including authorization for checks and contract agreements and purchase orders. And then obviously to put Mr. Gaff on the login for Star Financial Bank, just like we did with Mrs.
Do you expect any of this transition to happen prior to July 1st?
Mr. Gaff still has his responsibilities as the local principal, but as his time allows, we are pulling him to include him on conversations. For example, I had a meeting at West Noble this morning at 9 o'clock, and Mr. Gaff was able to clear his schedule and go on and go with me on that. We're talking about special ed co-op and looking at finances there, and wanting to be part of those conversations going forward. So some of those things, some things will transition, yes. We'll try to get as much time as we can. So.
Just need a motion?
I will motion to approve the revisions of the 2026 annual appointments.
Second. All those in favor?
Next, we'd ask for your approval and blessing on the creation of a new sixth grade transition teacher. This would be at the teacher salary, whatever he or she is hired in at on our teacher scale. So, it would be a new position.
I'll motion to approve the new sixth grade transition teacher position.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Next, we ask for your approval to the purchase of a new 81 passenger school bus. This is a bus that is on our school bus replacement plan. But please note that buses are almost 2 years out now. So if you approve this, we do get put in line, we do lock in the price of that bus, but we will not receive that bus until the 27-28 school year. And we'll pay for it at that time, at the current prices.
Okay.
building them as they, you guys put it in.
Yeah, when they get
When
involved.
they get the order and they build it.
And just to let you know too, we try to place our orders before price increases.
Sure.
So we lock in advance.
I will motion to approve, the purchase of one new 81 passenger bus.
All those in favor?
Thank you very much for that. I'll let you know that we're getting this order in just in time, because pricing that we had a change of emissions on the motors, so they're going up roughly about $12,000.
Not close, yeah.
So next time you can figure about at least 12 grand on that. The next thing we have for you is the first reading of the proposed elementary student and parent handbook. And just the first reading, changes are highlighted in yellow, and our very own Mr. Gunther is here to answer any questions that you may have.
Like the self-report, I forgot to highlight the network and internet acceptability policy, so that's about 3 pages of light reading for you, that Mr. Uckman updated, so I don't think I highlighted that in the packet. Sorry, but that is new and updated. The other highlights are fairly minor. Crisis hotline number has changed. Long story behind that, but the short story is that our 5th grade is now adopting the same program that we adopted a couple of years ago, Sandy Hook Promise, which has a 24-hour monitored hotline that our parents, students, community can reach out to anytime and get support through that. So now we have that added to our handbook. Mission and vision statements now go directly with the district. Attendance now meets our new legislation, just changes some language with unexcused absences, the 170 days of school accountability. Electronic devices, same thing, matches legislation. It's not new at the elementary, it's always been bell to bell, but the big addition is smartwatches. Language on that has been added as well. Synchronous learning language changed a little bit, just clean that up. Diagnostic services with our school site, language cleaned up a little bit. Student medications, our language was cleaned up a little bit. Like I said, the network and internet acceptable use policy has changed. And the Title I policy that Mrs. Alness wrote up for us that I actually brought to you a couple of months ago is in there as well. So, not huge changes, but just matches our legislation changes and cleans some things up a little bit.
The one thing that kind of jumped out at me was regarding the lockers. And I'm assuming, but I don't want to do that. We talked about a student shouldn't use a personal locker to secure a school-issued locker. Do our athletics not use their own? Is it?
School issue.
And in the elementary, none of our lockers have locks, and so.
Oh, right. Right.
So it's a little different on our side. So that was actually something that earlier this year, it's one of those situations that comes about for the first time where a kid threw a lock on his locker and the teacher came up to me and said, hey, do we have something in? And I go and I look and, no, we don't. So there we go. It's not an issue that comes up very often, but now we got it.
I didn't realize that athletically that we were supplying.
I'll motion to approve,
I don't think we have to motion.
this is the first reading, okay.
The next item on the list is simply a presentation of the 25-26 membership. Mr. Uckman had an engagement come up that he could not be here. However, we did put this together for you to kind of look through and have any questions. kind of recap for you our total count for February 1st, which is our second count day of the year. We had 11 students, dropped really at 4 students from our October 1 count. Information from October 1 count date, we had 848 students that live within our Smith Green Community Schools district. We have 259 students attend from outside the district. So kids who transfer, families who transfer their child to Smith Green for whatever reason. And 13 of those students are transferred to other school corporations. These are our students but have special ed needs, so we either send them to Central Noble or West Noble because that's where their particular special ed program is housed. So, and then where do the students come from? You can kind of look back through there and see who's sending us students from what other district. And that's just for your information. And that's, sir, all we have on new business.
Any other business?
Other business, we have none.
Public comments, we have none.
So, principals reports.
4th and 5th grade concert this Thursday at 6:30 if you're looking for something to do.
Wait, 4th and 5th, have we gotten any information on that?
There's been stuff coming home to your parents for.
So I saw my calendar. I do, so okay,
What was that
they
date?
probably said it 3 times before it makes it in my calendar. So
What was that date?
I'm always like, I'll see it. Yeah.
Kindergarten Roundup, April 9th and 14th from 8:30 to 2:30. People are getting their reservations. I think we're close to 40 kids right now that are signed up to attend. And then the last thing, do you have details on the fire department training on the 20th?
Details?
That it's happening?
It is happening. Yeah. Our fire department is hosting a statewide training in our auditorium for firefighters. I could not tell you exactly the details, but I know that any opportunity we have to get our first responders in the building and using our facilities is great. And we're going to have people from all over the state coming in to use our facilities for that time. So, otherwise, what firefighters do? No, I'm not Super Bowl person.
Do you have a date on that?
Saturday, it's the Saturday of spring, 20.
Is that it, sir?
That's all I have.
Ms. Hershey?
Yeah, I just want to kind of celebrate again some of the things that we've had going on. Our show choir invite, I don't know if you guys have been in the building when that's happening, but it is a well-oiled machine. And sometimes I want to ask that whole crew to do all of them. They're just really on top of it. They literally leave the building. They used my own office this year, my house. You would have never known that they were in the offices, the gym. It's incredible. And being able to host so many people, like we just said, is such a cool thing. They ran a mini cheer camp this year. They did things a little bit differently, and I think there were more people for cheer camp than they were for homecoming. It felt like almost they were packed in the gym. That was pretty cool. And our cheerleaders got to participate in the family meeting, and it was a really cool thing to try, and the numbers increased, so that was really great. I just want to give a public shout out to Jeff Clark, our new wrestling coach. 6-12, elementary 12, we've got wrestlers coming out of the woodworks, and he has been really positive and has seen a lot of success, and I just look for that program to continue. He has been a great addition to our athletic program. Want to thank everybody, Erica especially, the board, Dr. Voigt, for just kind of letting us try this year doing synchronous learning on our side of the building for both PSAT and SAT. The feedback, I was really, I held my breath. I was worried that someone was gonna miss the message, that they were gonna have kids show up. I mean, I didn't sleep before either night this year. And it was the exact opposite. A lot of parents said, man, I remember we had to schedule on a Saturday, we had to go. What great ways to keep the kids in the building, to give them the time and the space. We had to delay this SAT day. I'm not even gonna tell you how I felt, but it wasn't pleasant. And it was awesome. The kids did great. They took their time. They were not rushed. Elise in the cafeteria, April, everybody just made it work. And being able to put like some serious value on those tests are really important, especially with the change in accountability and everything else we've got going on. So thank you for letting those kids have that time. We're going to continue to hopefully do that then next year and moving forward. So really, really important. Academic Super Bowl kicked off and already has placed third in their competition. Archery, another program that just continues to grow. All three teams have made it all the way through. They just keep winning. Every time there's a competition, I have a half a page of announcements. It's awesome. I was invited to archery practice on Wednesday night, where I will be dressed and learning to shoot. The kids are going to teach me archery. So I will be at archery practice till 7 o'clock on Wednesday night. I already spoke about the athletic campaign, but again, just constantly amazed what our small, doesn't feel small, community does. Just amazing. Rotary auction is tomorrow night. If you're out and about, stop by. It's a really cool event. My first one was last year, and they do so much for not just us at the school, but the whole town, which has been awesome to watch too. Speaking of Rotary, I'm happy to share that this year, it's been several years, my understanding. I have to double check with Austin, but they have now sent students to the RILA camp, which is a national Rotary camp. Every state's got some, I'm sure. And we're not only sending one, we're sending 3 sophomores. And our Busco Rotary is sending them on, so pretty excited about that. And then Wednesday is our top 10, our annual lunch at St. James. So just some really cool things happening. So just thanks for the support. I know you guys make really hard decisions, and you can see it as you're processing and thinking out loud. But it's been really cool to see a lot of things come to fruition now that this is coming to the end of the second year here. Things that, we wanted to sit down and do. I know Erica's constantly feeling it too, and we talk all the time about the changes, but it's really cool to be able to walk out of here and be like, yeah, they got us. So thank you. A lot of new stuff, when you're asking for synchronous learning for PSAT, some people are like, okay, but it's working and it's helpful. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Olmus.
Just real quickly, today was the last of our 4 PD days, so I want to thank the board. Those have been such a blessing for us. Today looked a little different than the past 3 have, in that we kind of put the ball in our leads' courts and said, hey, these are some outcomes we want for you and your team to accomplish, and they built their agendas and they got it done. So that distributed leadership piece was really cool. So good day for that. End of year testing window is coming up, so Troy's been working with elementary staff on that. Melissa's building out her calendar, but we know that this time of year just goes super quickly with everything that we have going on. We are starting to talk about summer school plans. So I read remediation for grades 2 and 3. Melissa's got her plan together for the high school, and then we're also starting to talk some professional development. So it's kind of exciting starting to think about next year already.
Thank you. Just a couple things that Ms. Hirsch already talked about in this, but the Rotary Club is tomorrow night, our Rotary auction's tomorrow. So if you don't have anything else to do, stop by the school. It's always kind of good. Just a reminder that spring break's coming up, first week of April. I hope you already have your spring break plans. If not, you're going to start running out of time. So make it happen. I encourage you. And then again, as Ms. Hirsch pointed out, the top 10 luncheon is this Wednesday. And I would just like to say, what a very cool and very neat tradition we have here at Cherubusco Junior High School. That the kids, top 10 kids in the class, get to invite teacher or some adult that was influential within our school corporation to lunch with them. And it's just really kind of neat to see and be a part of. So, neat tradition, one of many. And that, sir, is all I have.
Congratulations to our student spotlight winners, Addison and Jillian. Wow, what amazing work. Even printed out, it looks amazing. I can't imagine what it actually looks like in person. From the staff, spotlight, Mrs. Salsenbeck, well deserved. I know her bubbly personality well, so I can only imagine how she's a treat for the students that she's serving. Donations. You know, we talk about, we're blessed to get to talk about donations every school board meeting. You know, and this one obviously, with everyone's intense effort, is amazing. The outpour from the community into our extracurriculars building projects is just phenomenal. If somebody would have asked me at the beginning of it what I would have thought, I would have probably guessed half that number. So to get to that scale, I think is just amazing. So kudos to the team involved and the way they went about it and drove it. So and obviously thank you to the donors. Huge impact on what we have going on here. I want to say congratulations to all of our winter sports and extracurriculars. I know I was able to watch many of these sports throughout the year, and I get such enjoyment of getting to watch some of them, seeing them early and then seeing them later, and seeing the improvements there. We didn't have necessarily anything super amazing happening this year for anybody, but I seen the growth there in those programs, which is very, it's nice to see. And I obviously support the wrestling program and what Mr. Clark is doing there as well, having seen it firsthand. Congratulations to Ms. McGuire. I get so, it is amazing how many times we get to cross this bridge from a retirement and listen to the number of years that some of our staff has here. And it's amazing because those people were here when I was here still. I'm not that old yet, but amazing just to be keeping that those individuals inside the walls and wanting to stay here. So great to hear. That's all I have.
Yeah, I think he's new. And then I thought the test scores were pretty exciting, Mr. Gaff, so thanks for telling us about that. I hope we keep heading that direction. It's pretty amazing. I heard that the New Era Invitational went great, and I'm sad that I didn't get to see it, but I heard great things. Fanging was also great. Mr. Foley and Mrs. Tab doing what they do on the weekends and the extra time. It's just cool to see Busco doing those things. And then all the artwork was awesome too. And Mrs. McGuire holds a special place in my heart. Like you said, since getting lunch, she always made you smile. Like she always just made you feel good. And so, I wish her all the best.
Very good. Congrats to all the award winners from the art department. Is she going to New York for adjudication? Or?
I hope so.
That'd be pretty neat. So, congrats to them and everything everybody mentioned. That's all I have.
Yeah, Addison and Jillian, Kelly, and congratulations, Robin. I think she started when I graduated, sort of down there. She might have. And I remember all the time she was talking, I'd go up for lunch, and she was always the one, when she washed the dishes, she'd spread them down, give you a hard time too as you walk by. Yeah. And then donations, like I said, that's, again, incredible. Every meeting, but this one too is just amazing. So, and building.
And congratulations to the art students again, Julian and Addison. It's nice to see a bus driver acknowledged. When we talk about our staff spotlight, it's not just teachers making a difference, but those bus drivers make a huge difference in our kids' lives too. I'm sure you've all been touched by a bus driver, even if it's driving you to an extracurricular activity or something like that, and they spend a lot of extra hours outside, just the morning and afternoon. Yeah, we're talking about Robin and her commitment to our school, but Mr. Huntsman, who spent many, many years here, his passing was sad, in my opinion, to our school. He was a big part of it. And I think it's awesome that we received some memorials in his honor. Just remembering what a big part he had as a shop teacher in our school, in the FFA. He was a big part of that at the school, when we were in school. I agree, the IRE test score is 98% pass and 100% pass, which is awesome. Kudos to everything that we're doing, I think, making strides, whether it's on the reading side, the math side, and I know Ms. Almas has had a big part of that, as well as the buy-in from our principals on that end as well. You set out a pretty lofty goal for your athletic goal. You didn't just hit it, you surpassed it. So hearing, you're already working on your arts money, that's awesome. I love the fact you have a plan for what's next and what you want to tackle next, the next project. So kudos to you, congratulations. It was a big number, and you nailed it and then some. So congratulations on that. I know we do have a great PTO here. You mentioned the mother-son bingo. Just the nice little things too the PTO does for our teachers and our staff. I think it's great to highlight them because sometimes there are unsung heroes often. So thanks to all that. I know we're getting to the end of that school year, so I just want to say, good luck to our teachers as these kids start getting squirrely here in these last few months, and the principals and everybody else. But spring break, I feel like that last stretch after spring break is when that last month gets a little squirrely for everybody. So good luck to all of you, and thanks for all you've done so far this school year and all you continue to do.
Our next regularly scheduled meeting will be on April 20th. With that, we will adjourn the regular school board meeting at Smith Green Community Schools of Monday, March 16, 2026 at 7:37. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
I don't have that much.
He sent out the first one super early.
This is like the baby.
Yeah, thanks for the
Yeah,
opportunity.
so
I'm in a month